Welcome to Poland Daily History with me, Nicholas Richardson. And today I'm joined in the studio by our expert on all things Napoleonic, Dominik Szczęsny Kostanecki, and we're going to be talking about the short-lived but historically significant Grand Duchy of Warsaw. Dominik, welcome back to the studio. I think
My pleasure.
When we talk about the Grand Duchy of Warsaw, I think a bit of background is helpful. And we probably need to go back to about the third partition of Poland to set the scene.
Yes. Poland disappears from the map of Europe in 1795. And it is partitioned between Austria, Russia and Prussia. So Poland is no more.
That's right.
And the Duchy of Warsaw, or the Grand Duchy of Warsaw, is the first time in the 19th century that Poland gets some sort of independence. In fact, it's the only period between the third partition and the end of the First World War that Poland has some limited can enjoy some limited sovereignty. The third partition and then the secret convention between Austria, Prussia and Russia were about to remove not only Poland from the map of Europe, but also to remove the name of Poland. It was officially signed by the three parties. So from that perspective, the fact that Poland, even if the name wasn't used, the Duchy of Warsaw, no
reference to Poland.
No reference to Poland. In fact, the only important institution that bore this name was the Polish army of the Duchy of Warsaw, but no reference to Poland within the name itself. So, coming back to my point, the Polish case, as it were, reappears in European politics in 1807. And so this is absolutely crucial for Polish fate in the future, because when Napoleon is deposed, ousted from power at first 1814 and then 1815, and the Congress of Vienna is about to redraw the map of Europe in 1815, there is no coming back to the state where Poland was completely absent. So, in other words, the fact that the Duchy of Warsaw existed forced those, major actors at the Congress of Vienna to somehow acknowledge the fact that there should be such an entity as Poland. Of course, it wasn't independent because it was annexed, in a sense, mostly. I mean, the greatest part of the Duchy of Warsaw was annexed by Russia, but the name was used, Królestwo Polskie, the Kingdom of Poland, nicknamed the Congress Kingdom. So as we can see, the fact that this Duchy of Warsaw existed had a very big impact on the future vicissitude of Poland.
So that was actually a good thing, because it had come into existence in 1807, and the fact it actually technically disappeared very shortly afterwards, but the fact it had actually been born in the first place created this foundation for a Polish state, or the idea of a Polish state, well into the 19th century. And of course, in 1918, after the First World War, was able to come back as a fully independent country. That's very important.
As it did.
But I think, because the actual foundation of the Duchy of Warsaw, we can sort of began, I think, would it be fair to say, with the 1806 uprising against the Russians, which then Napoleon was able to use
against Prussia in the first place, and then against Russia to some extent, because when we look at the map of Europe, the first enemy when you come from the west, so Napoleon. Imagine Napoleon coming from the west, from Berlin, entering the Polish soil, having his Polish soldiers alongside. So the first enemy to be defeated is Prussia.
Right.
And such territories as Wielkopolska, Greater Poland with Poznań, or for example Częstochowa, so the spiritual capital in a sense of Poland, were in the Warsaw itself, because we often think about the 19th century, and it is correct, that Warsaw, a Russian city. But till 1806, Warsaw belonged to Prussia.
Okay, that's a good point too.
So the main enemy for Poles in that uprising is Prussia.
Okay. Well, that is regrettably all we have time for today. I mean, this has been for me another fascinating meeting with Dominik. We've discussed the legacy of the Duchy of Warsaw. As I say, historically, it existed for a very short time, but was of much greater significance, both in terms of what it meant for keeping the idea of Poland alive until Poland re-emerged in 1918 after the First World War, and some of the amazing characters historically who were associated with it. And of course, a giant of his time in Europe, Napoleon, had also a profound influence on Poland at the time, and indeed to the current time. And Poniatowski we mentioned. Indeed, if you come to Warsaw, you see his great statue, even to this day, outside, on a horse, as a Roman soldier, outside the President's palace. This is just a fascinating period of history, in fact, generally for Europe and for Poland in particular. So it's been for me a particular pleasure to have discussed this with Dominik. So all that remains for me now is to say thank you, Dominik, for yet another fascinating discussion, to thank you for watching.
Many thanks.
And we look forward to seeing you again on Poland Daily History.